All right, today we're going to tackle a really fascinating and honestly pretty provocative economic idea. It's one that challenges a core pillar of our financial world, and we're going to explore what that world might actually look like. Seriously, just imagine it for a second. No interest piling up on your savings, sure, but also no interest on your credit card, your mortgage, your car loan. I mean, how would that even work? How would that change things? That's the huge thought experiment we're diving into today. So, where does this idea even come from? Well, our guide for this whole journey is an academic paper by Leslie Terabesi. His work really calls into question some of the most fundamental financial practices that, we all just take for granted. We're going to break down his core arguments. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. What is the actual problem that this paper is trying to solve? According to the author, it all boils down to one single concept. And that concept is something called usury. Now, that's a bit of an old-fashioned word, but it just means the practice of charging interest on loans. And here's the kicker. The paper argues this isn't just how finance works, it's actually an anomaly, like a bug in the code of our economy that's become embedded in the system, causing all sorts of harm. And when I say harm, I mean big stuff. The paper makes some seriously bold claims here. It connects this one practice, usury, directly to a whole list of our biggest economic headaches. We're talking inefficient resource allocation, unemployment, inflation, and that ever-widening gap between the rich and poor. Yeah, that's a huge claim, right? To suggest that so many of our financial woes could all stem from this one single source. So, if charging interest is the problem, what's the solution? As you can probably guess, the paper outlines a pretty radical alternative. The central idea is, well, simple on the surface. Just get rid of interest-based loans and instead promote interest-free banking models. The source describes this as wiping the slate clean, a complete reset of how we handle lending and borrowing. Okay, a complete reset sounds huge, right? So what could this actually mean for us in the real world? What would that kind of massive shift even look like? Well, let's take one of the key arguments, which focuses on small and medium-sized businesses, the ones that create a ton of jobs. Right now, a lot of them really struggle to get loans because they just don't have enough collateral. The paper argues that in a system without interest, access to capital could be unlocked, letting these businesses thrive and potentially creating a whole new wave of economic dynamism and jobs. The paper also has a take on those big economic bubbles, calling them financial quicksand. Here's the logic it lays out. Step 1, a loan is made, and that borrowed money gets spent into the economy. But step 2, when repayment begins with interest, you're actually sucking more money out of the economy than was originally put in. And according to this theory, that constant drain is what can lead to a contraction, or what we'd call a recession. Now, this whole idea might sound kind of out there, purely theoretical, but we actually see little bits of it happening all the time. Think about it. When companies like Apple or IKEA offer 0% interest financing, that's it in a nutshell. So the paper invites us to just scale that idea up. Imagine getting your car, or even your house, on those terms. It would be a complete game changer for the average person. So this all brings us to the big picture. This isn't about having a perfect, ready-to-go plan. It's really more of an invitation to just think differently about our financial systems. And we gotta be super clear about this. The source isn't presenting this as some kind of cure-all. Not at all. Like all good academic research, its purpose is to offer up a provocative thesis to get us thinking. It's a framework for us to explore and reflect on, really designed to start a conversation, not to be the final word. And so that brings us right back to where we started, with a big question. The paper leaves us to ponder what an economy without interest could look like, and how we might all benefit from it. It's a pretty powerful thought, and definitely one worth considering. Thanks for tuning in.